What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? It is your girl Survivor Speaks, and here with a another live video. Hi to all 55 of you that are here. I am so excited. Thank you, thank you, thank you to Cat Not Williams for redirecting everybody to come over here. So we're not going to be here too long, right? We want to get right into this. FFS. I am so excited that you are here. Another live video. Okay, so I'm so excited that you are here with me. Today we're going to be doing a rewind of the fool that we know as Darryl Brooks. I just want to say that our thoughts and prayers still go out to the Waukesha um, community. They did not deserve what happened to them on November 21st of 2021. So I was asked to do a rewind on it, and so here we are. And I'm just going to get right to it. My mother, purchased this beautiful breast cancer survivor hat for me. It doesn't make a difference how old you are. Hey, Steph JK, what's going on? It doesn't make a difference how old you are. Your parents always know, things that you like. And I do, thank my mom, for, thinking of me. Breast cancer, I'm her child every day. But since this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, she always decides to get me something, and I'm grateful and thankful for that, and for anything else. I'm grateful for the 50 people in the chat right now. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So we're going to be using a video from doing a video today from Mushmouth Joe. Now, Mushmouth Joe, what he did was remove most of the fluff out of the video. He does give you the right to use the video. And so I am going to share his page because I watched this trial so many different times, but then I did watch it on Mouth Joe's channel also. I want to say more than one time, and he's really taken all the fluff out of this, so I'm going to share his page here, and that's his page. If you want to go follow him, his his thoughts and what he thinks about everything is his thoughts, and it's not the opinions of Survivor Speaks or Survivor Nation. But I do appreciate Joe for allowing reuse of the commentary from Darryl Brooks. So what I'm going to do is I want to start off with the end of day 2. So you can get into to see the foolery that we're about to get into. And so you're going to see President Joe Biden on the screen. That is part of Mush Mouth Joe's. That's his thing. So don't be surprised when you do see that. He's just who he is. So we're going to start off with that, and then because it's going to be very brief. It's just very brief, just to see what we're dealing with. I know most of you watched this trial, but we need to really, really see what we're dealing with, right? So we're going to just a little bit. This is how we're going to start it off for this fool. Just a little bit. First, before we get to the real gist of things.
The jury, you are excused for the weekend. We'll see you Monday morning. All right, for the jury, please. All right, seated. All right, anything else we need to address before we conclude for the weekend from the state?
Your Honor, the state is excusing from its subpoenas, with the court's permission, please, Officer Phillips, Kyle Edwards, and Holly Berg.
Have you received any of the subpoena forms from Mr. Brooks related to any of these witnesses to assist with?
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize because I was speaking with Miss Daisy. So she also reminded me that you were going to rule later as to Detective Guth and Patterson. So we do not intend to recall these individuals. We would seek to release them from our subpoenas if they are on Mr. Brooks' witness list, which he has due on Monday, and he wants them subpoenaed. We would make arrangements to have them return. I guess the question is the exclusion order. Or maybe we should wait to see his witness list on Monday.
Let's wait to see the witness list on Monday, please. That's your due date. So I expect that will be filed, and then I can take up the issue of releasing individuals from their subpoenas from the district attorney's office. And then, of course, I'll take up Monday morning the issue with Exhibit 6.
Yes.
All right, Mr. Brooks, anything from you at this time?
Yeah, because I'm definitely going to have the subpoenas. Like I said, I would need to, I guess, confer with how to properly get them done and filed in the right fashion.
Mr. Brooks, I've advised you previously, I would be willing to review for completeness. You need to get those to me in a timely fashion. Your witness list is due Monday, and so I expect those subpoenas to be brought with you Monday morning so I can address with you and the state how any of those witnesses who are also listed on the state's witness list, we can address the logistics of that. If they're not on the state's witness list, that's a different situation, but the state has offered for any witnesses, and the state can correct me if I'm wrong, but it's my understanding you have offered for witnesses that are on the state's witness list, that if Mr. Brooks names them, and absent, I guess, any objection by you for some lawful reason, you would assist in getting those subpoenas to those individuals.
Yes, and he wouldn't necessarily be limited to our list. We've offered, in addition to that, if there are relevant witnesses and it's reasonable to get them served, that is the southeastern Wisconsin area, we will assist in that.
All right, thank you. That you brought that to my attention, and I didn't quite remember that. So get all your subpoenas together, get your witness list, and the state's offered some assistance in doing that.
I do want to state that I previously touched on that whole topic, that was one of my concerns when I was compiling my witness list was I going to be calling anybody that they already had on their list. If you recall, I stated that for the record. That was.
You mean witnesses they actually call, or just witnesses who are on the list?
Both.
Well, if you want to question a witness and the witness is called by the state, that will be your opportunity to do that. Generally, that's how it's done. If you are asking to then have them recall during your case in chief, we can take that up at a later point in time, but you got to have the subpoenas available, okay?
Yeah, I follow that. I wanted it stated for the record that I had raised that issue because at that time, I still hadn't even gone through the entire witness list from the prosecution. It was 30 plus pages. That's a lot of names.
I agree, Mr. Brooks, there's a lot of names, but I actually extended the filing deadlines. They all have come and passed, but I, obviously in light of you representing yourself, I extended that, and have ordered that you file your witness list by Monday. So that's how we will address that. Do you have any other issues at this time?
Yes, I do. The statement of particulars that hasn't been responded to by affidavit. The notice of special appearance hasn't been
I
responded
direct
to.
your attention to the Barnaby decision, sir. The court's not going to be addressing that topic any further.
So what about the subject matter jurisdiction?
Sir, that's an argument that has repeatedly by the courts in the United States of America, all over the place. It is not recognized as any type of issue that a court needs to address. It is summarily denied.
Can you show proof that it has no relevancy, Your Honor?
I direct you to the Barnaby decision, sir. All right.
Can you show proof of that, Your Honor? Verified? Can you show a verified affidavit of that?
No. All right. Mr. Brooks, the hearing today is concluded. We'll see everyone back here on Monday at 8:30 a.m. We are recessed.
I'm here, and he gets a big.
Let me turn to the topic of what Kamala Harris is doing this coming week. Particularly Monday and Tuesday. She's got several events.
How did this get on here? Excuse me, guys. I don't know how that got on here. That's what I was trying to play. But anywho, so yeah, we just started with the end of day 2, and I love the way Judge Darrell shut him down because she's very patient with him. She's more, she has the patience of Job. I will say that over and over and over again. The state and the judge showed this fool so much respect, even though in their minds they already witnessed what happened and what he did in a way, and what he decided to do because he was upset with his ex-girlfriend. So you decide to go, and take a moment that this community cherishes and you turn it into tragedy. It was disgusting then, it is disgusting now, and now we're going to take, just get a to see who the heck we're really dealing with. This guy, Darryl Brooks, he has no respect for anybody. He didn't have respect for, his, oh, hold on. I'm sorry, I'm queuing up the other video, and here he comes. So, anyway, so he doesn't have respect for anybody. And like I said, in the last rewind that we did last week, I don't even think he had respect for his mother, because he couldn't stay in his house. He was sleeping in that he ran through the parade, and alive 6 people and injured 60 people. That was the count that they had at the time. But as the trial went on, they learned, as the witnesses were giving their impact statements, that it was actually the 60 people that got hurt, and some of them were pretty bad. He's not charged for that. He got lucky for that. But the time that he got, I don't think that the time that he got, I don't think that that really matters, right? Because he's never going to see the outside ever again, unless he's going to court for something and they are moving him from the jail to the van and bringing him into the courtroom, where he just showed up in court with a in a wheelchair, because they don't allow him to walk, because where he's housed now and where he just finished, he just got more time, just to let you know, a month ago, for his ex-girlfriend Erica Williams. So they didn't have the equipment that they had in Judge Darrell's court, to deal with him. So they strapped him in the wheelchair, and that's how they brought him into court. So just know that, and his whole demeanor changed, because if you're already facing 1,000 years, what else are you going to do? You're going to come to court and keep fighting the way you did here, which was a monstrosity that you you continued with your shenanigans while bringing these victims, through it with you all. So I'm putting up the next video and get right through this. I'm playing it on I'm going to play it on 1.5. If too fast for anybody, please just let me know in the chat, and I will slow it down. Thank you for being patient with me. Thank you for being here. And Cat Not Williams, thank you so much for redirecting everyone here. I don't see my mods in the chat yet, so I'm just going to let you know. If you see someone, there he is. Nightbot is in the chat. So Night is my mod. He is in addition to the mods that I do have. I only have 2 of them. He's in addition to the mods, and he just does his own thing. So anybody that has a channel and doesn't know, Nightbot assists when you aren't available. So it does the whole thing where he harasses people. That's what I say about it. All right, so let's get to day 3. And nobody else is here. I saw FFS in the chat. FFS, I'm so excited to have you here, and I know you're because from Cat, we are familiar. I am I'm Slime. I hope the Georgia DA is not in the chat, but I'm Slime. You are Steph JK, you are absolutely right. He to lose play. I just was trying to cue up the video, and there it is. Steph JK, can you put a 1 in that if you can hear me? Because it's saying something on this side. So I just want to know before I start this video, whether or not you can hear me or not. Yeah, he doesn't have anything to lose. He does not care. And we don't care about him either. But we're gonna watch his. You decided to be try to be a sovereign citizen, and you know what the thing is about him? He didn't know anything about being a sovereign citizen. He was learning as he go. You know, he was going along, and that was kind of part of his problem. Thank you so much, Steph. Yes, I am very much slacked. And that is Cat Not Williams. So we are going to, so it is on 1.5. So let me just bring it on right now. Everybody that's here, I do thank you, Blue Eyes, for that. Everybody that's here, I do appreciate that you are here. You guys have no idea what this means to me. And like I said, I want to send a special thank you out to Kat for redirecting everyone here. So let's get right to it. This is day 3 and Darryl Brooks and his shenanigans. All right, let's bring them on, and I don't know what's.
I know everyone's address is somewhere in the paperwork, but yes, I'm sure we will be able to find addresses.
The other omission I noted, and not necessarily your fault, is these were stamped by our clerk of court, which is standard. I will direct my clerk with your approval to put today's date for the date that these are all signed by the clerk of court's office. Okay? Is that a yes? I thought I saw you shake your head. Yes, I just want to confirm for the record. Okay.
I mean, it's just a lot of this, that I expressed last week that I wasn't really sure how to get done. So
I'm sorry, but we don't care, Mr. Brooks. But I just wanted to point out the attention of the suit that he's now attorney today. Just, I don't know, hard. He's a lot.
Whatever assistance is greatly appreciated.
I do want to address Exhibit 6,
you, Steph JK.
which was previously received by the court. This is the 6-minute squad cam and audio footage from Officer Phillips. As I advised last week, after I went back into chambers to review that, I did note what Mr. Brooks had said. I may have been a little bit off on the language in terms of what Ms. Patterson is heard saying, but it's a pretty clear reference to one of the incidents that is the subject of a prohibition by this court related to other acts. And I indicated I was inclined to strike that exhibit, and so advise the jury, but I would give the parties an opportunity if they had any arguments on that to address that this morning. So since the state offered it and there is that violation, I'll turn to the state.
Thank you, Your Honor. First, I do offer my apologies to the court and to Mr. Brooks, because the previous occasions where we had watched that video, we did not catch that. I think the record will speak for itself, but there was a lot going on in that video. As you had mentioned previously, the officer's radio was talking. You can hear the dispatcher, you can hear other officers, and you can hear some people talking in the distance as well. So we did mistakenly include that. However, that being said, Your Honor, I think it's a clear reference to the other acts only if you know there's other acts. Truthfully, I think it's a vague and ambiguous statement. What I heard the statement to have been at about the 2:52 mark in the recording, I heard Miss Patterson say, "Me and my baby daddy, we fight all the time. We had an incident, he ran me over with a car." That's what I heard her to say. She does not say it happened in Milwaukee. She does not say it happened 3 weeks ago. She does not say I suffered a broken leg. To me, in the context of Miss Runkle's testimony last week, in which she testified that Mr. Brooks had swerved at Erica Patterson and that Miss Runkle had pulled her out of the way, I don't think the jury would have immediately, Erica Patterson, when she made that statement, heard it, was referring to something weeks earlier in another county at another location. Really, the only thing objectionable about that whole quote I just issued would be the very last phrase, "He ran me over with a car." And again, if she's referring to the Milwaukee incident, it's not clear from that statement. I certainly understand, with the knowledge of the Milwaukee incident, there's a reasonable interpretation that's what she was talking about, but she may also have been talking about the events of November 21st, even to an objective standard on this record, Your Honor. I don't think the jury would have realized or appreciated she was talking about another incident. So I think the exhibit can stand as is. We could redact just about a 2 or 3 second audio from that recording where those words are removed, and I listened to it several times over the weekend. I think if we did that, it would not be that obvious, so that the exhibit could stand in place. The officer, if you recall, the timing is he's getting out of his car and he's approaching them, and she makes that statement about he ran me over with a car, but then her very next sentence is there's nothing happened, nothing's going on, nothing to be worried about here, and she's essentially trying to convince the officer not to do anything. So again, I think that also supports our contention that if we strike the exhibit or we strike words from the exhibit, we may be calling undue attention to something that was very vanilla to this jury that they really wouldn't have thought twice about, given the testimony of Corey Runkle and Erica Patterson that was already on the record. So we would offer to redact that portion if appropriate, but it may also be appropriate just to leave it stand as is. And should they ever ask to see that exhibit again, we would prevent that from being played a second time.
Thank you. Mr. Brooks, do you have a position on this?
Yeah, I mean, it's obvious to me. I can only hear out of one ear, and I was able to hear clearly what was said.
Oh, now
with all due respect and honor, you made a ruling about this previously, in ample enough time before the trial even started. You made the ruling. I see no reason why the exhibit should be admitted into evidence. From my perspective, it's clearly obvious what was being referenced. I mean, if she was able to give any type of statement at that time to the officer, then obviously she wasn't hit at that time on that day, on the 21st. She was in some other incident. Hence the reason why we argue all the time in this, that, and the third. It was clear to me what was being referenced, and because of the ruling, because of the implication in that statement, I believe the exhibit should be struck altogether.
Thank you for your position, Mr. Brooks. And the reason why last week I said I'm inclined to strike it, but I wanted to give the parties an opportunity to review it over the weekend is, in some respects, because of what the state just said. There's information on that clip, at least from Ms. Patterson, that I didn't know if you wanted to come in or not, about nothing happened here, right? Those types of statements. So that's why I give the parties a chance to look it over and then come back to court and tell me what they want to do. So your position has been made clear. You believe it should be struck or stricken, as we say. And I agree with you, Mr. Brooks. This court gave a very clear prior ruling related to other acts, and the state had an obligation to abide by that ruling. While I have options available to me, meaning I could redact it if the jury wants to hear it later on, my concern with redaction is it may possibly highlight that portion. We don't know whether any one of these jurors heard it and made a note about it. And that's certainly not something I'm going to ask them to reveal. And because of the violation, and even though there's other things going on, even though I could redact, I am going to strike this exhibit and so advise the jury. Last week, I also had indicated I had asked the Sheriff's Department to prepare an incident report regarding one of the occasions Mr. Brooks was removed from dictated and I believe written. I haven't seen it yet, but I did follow up on that this morning. I believe I'll have it at some point today, and we'll turn that over to the parties.
To the 6th, Thursday, October 6th.
Yeah, JK, I love Judge Darrell. Just a brief summary of what she's talking about. On day 2, the state played a exhibit that she already had made a prior ruling on, that it wouldn't come in because it on the exhibit his ex-girlfriend had said something that could be looked at, could be prejudicial to him. So Judge Darrell had already ruled on it, but the state it was introduced through the detective that was on the stand last time, and he objected at the time, and she had told him she didn't hear anything. The state said they didn't hear anything. So Judge Darrell went back to her chambers and listened to it, and she's making a ruling. This is day 3. So she made a ruling today to strike that exhibit because she did rule that it was not going to come in. And so he has his one victory for this trial, and we're not going to be give him a happy face, a thumbs up, or anything about it. He's still not a lawyer. He's still learning the language of the sovereign citizen thing, and he's trying to apply all of this through this trial. No way, but that is what she just to give you an explanation on what she just ruled on. That was what she just ruled on, and why she struck that exhibit from the when the detective was on the stand.
That was in reference to the incident where, if my memory is correct, where there was not about the COVID test, but about the needing you to sit down so that, I don't remember if you were over there or here or what, but they needed to get those restraints either on or off so that you could be situated, and that's where you had indicated you had been hurt. So that's what I'm talking about. I wanted to have a record of that here.
I think that was the 6th. I also want to state for the record that I was given paperwork to fill out a report of my own, and I stressed that because after the detectives came and took the pictures of my bruises and injuries, I was told that they didn't know when I would actually get the actual filing of the report that they were going to report. So I just went ahead and asked for my own. I filled that out. I don't know if it's been given to the right parties yet.
You're talking about the inmate complaint form to have the either the jail or the sheriff's department review that related to the use of force.
Yeah, it was the top paper was from the sheriff.
All right, you know that that's not my responsibility to address what happened other than how it impacts this trial, which is why I wanted to have a record. If there's anything you believe should be in the record from you regarding that, then you should turn that in. Okay. All right, I didn't have anything else on my list. I don't know if the state does, or ask the state first if there's anything you believe I should address jury coming back out.
Yes, Your Honor, I would ask that some of the witnesses that testified last week released from their subpoenas, especially now that we have Mr. Brooks' witness list. Specifically, I'd be referring to Corey Runkle, Officer Phillips, Kyle Edwards, Holly Berg. I note on his list today he does still have Erica Patterson and Detective Guth at some point. We'd like to be heard about that, but we don't need to delay the jury at this point.
All right, any position on their request, Mr. Brooks?
I guess my objection to that would be Officer Phillips. That would be one that I would still like to be under subpoena. Everybody else is I'm fine with.
That's the officer whose squad video I just struck. So you didn't have him in your subpoenas. So you'll need to, for now I'll tell the state they can't release him. You'll need to fill out a subpoena, and I need to have that by the lunch hour today in order for him not to be released from the state subpoena.
And I definitely don't want Erica Patterson released from him.
Right, you have her on your subpoena, so I understand that.
I just wanted that for the record.
All right, thank you. All right, then I will grant the request from the state as to Corey Runkle, Kyle Edwards, and Holly Berg. For now, Officer Phillips will remain under the state subpoena along with Erica Patterson and Detective Guth. We can take issues up with that either, maybe closer to the lunch hour or when we come back, or even at the end of the day. But I would like to bring the jury out. But of course, Mr. Brooks, I need to turn to you first and see if there's any issues you believe the court should address.
Very briefly, I just want to state this for the record that I would like to issue the court an apology from me in regards to my actions last week during the trial. I just want the court to understand it's very emotional right now, not only for just the whole situation of the trial. The families here that have to go through, everything that's going to be involved with the trial, but also my family as well and myself is very, very emotional. But not to excuse my actions, I should carry myself with better respect in that.
I just need to let you guys know that I'm laughing at this fool. So I don't want you to take me laughing is not about this trial. Trust me, not at all. I'm laughing about this fool because he is apologizing about next week, but he's getting ready to do something probably worse as soon as they restart. So that's why I'm laughing. I just wanted to explain that to everybody because he doesn't mean anything that he's saying.
I wasn't raised that way. And I'll do Your Honor in the court an apology, and I'm going to stand up as a man and tell the whole court and you, Your Honor, that I apologize to the bailiffs, that I apologize for my actions. Like I said, that's not how I was raised. I come from a Christian background. My mother did not raise me that way. She did not raise me, to act out of frustration and irritation and anger. And I just wanted everybody to know that I apologize for my actions, and I'm going to try my best. I just wanted y'all to know that.
Thank you, Mr. Brooks. I do appreciate that. Understandably so. This is an emotional experience, I think, for everyone involved. And I appreciate that you, upon reflection, have realized that courtesy and decorum are an important part of a court proceeding. I know that despite you being emotional at times and not being an attorney, you certainly are clearly paying attention. You've made some very salient points throughout the last few days. I think you're settling it well, and we're going to keep this trial going. And, I know you said earlier, and it's really important that I do this, sir. You've mentioned repeatedly about your hearing. I know you don't have the headphones on now. We'll give them to you. Just based on what I've observed this morning and how you've responded to things that have been said, I think you're hearing us. But if we haven't made the headphones available, we got to make sure we do that every single day so that if you need them. But I do appreciate everything that you've said. And I know we have Detective Casey, who will bring up momentarily for your cross-examination, just so everyone is aware. It's my practice when there's a second day to also put the witness under oath again. So he'll at least be sitting up there when the jury comes in. Thank you, everyone. Please be seated. You can sit for a minute. We'll wait till our jurors have their notes ready. And good morning, and welcome back. Hope you all had a very nice weekend. Previously, the court received Exhibit 6 during the testimony of Officer Phillips. The jury is hereby advised that the court has struck this exhibit. The jury is hereby advised to disregard anything it may have heard during the playing of Exhibit 6.
Hello, thank you for coming.
With that, we have Detective
Thank
Casey here
you.
for cross, as is my
Thank you
practice.
for
When there's a second day,
driving.
someone's on the
Thank
witness
you for
stand. I
coming.
am going to have him stand to be sworn in again by my clerk. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you. Please be seated. And once again, for the record, state your first and last name.
Thomas Casey.
Thank you. Mr. Brooks, this is your opportunity to question him.
Good morning, Detective. So, how long have you been in law enforcement?
25 years.
Since a long time. I want to direct you to the evening of November 21st, 2021. You stated that you were on duty that afternoon, correct?
Yes, sir.
Do you recall any disturbances that afternoon?
Do you mean when you drove through the parade routes? And
Your question was a little broad. Why don't you try to narrow down the time frame so he can answer that more specifically?
Roughly around the time of
Got him.
maybe 4:30ish p.m.
Got him.
yes, I do.
Do you remember what you can recall?
Do I remember if I can recall?
Do you remember the disturbance you recall?
Yes, I do.
Would you state what that is? What that was, rather?
I heard a horn beeping, and then a Ford Escape came through the parade route, and you drove past me and wouldn't stop, and you continued driving into the parade route.
Who is you?
Darryl Brooks, the defendant, seated at the table.
Let the record reflect that I do not identify by that name, nor do I know anybody by that name.
Private public security.
So, you heard a horn beeping.
Yes,
Was it coming from
Private and public.
the
I
vehicle
got you.
that you tried to stop?
I believe that it was.
You stated that you've been in law enforcement for 25 years. That's a long
Private and
time.
public. Thank you for coming.
So it would be fair to say that you
Probably should
operate
move
a
away.
motor vehicle
We slide.
pretty much every day. Would that be fair to say?
We slide.
Yes, I operate a motor vehicle almost every day.
And would it be also fair to say that you would only beep your horn in a motor vehicle if you were trying to alert someone to your presence?
The same questions.
I think that could be a fair statement.
Would it be also fair that you would beep your horn to avoid any danger?
There could be many reasons why a person is beeping their horn.
Would one of those reasons be to avoid danger?
Could be, yes.
Do you recall if you were able to see who was operating the vehicle you attempted to stop?
Yes, I was.
And can you recall a description of the operator of the vehicle you attempted to stop?
He was light-skinned, black male, had some light facial hair.
You.
Is that all you recall?
That is what I recall.
Do you recall what they were wearing?
No, I do not.
So you were able to get a description of how the operator of the vehicle looked, but not what they were wearing.
That is correct.
Do you recall how fast the vehicle was going at the time you attempted to stop it?
I believe the vehicle was going about 3 to 5 miles an hour when I tried to stop the vehicle, and it continued on past me.
Would it be fair to say that 3 to 5 miles an hour is not very fast?
I think it's very fast when you're in a parade route, when there's hundreds of people marching in the road, and a police officer is standing in front of your car, pounding on the hood, trying to get the vehicle to stop. I'd say that that's too fast. Any speed is too fast on a parade route when you have all those people in the roadway. The car should not have been there.
That wasn't the question, but thanks for the commentary.
Detective Casey, please just answer his questions. Attorney Acker will have an opportunity to redirect if necessary.
Would it be fair to say that that's not a very fast speed?
Objection, asked and answered.
Sustained.
Do you recall if the operator of the vehicle that you gave a description of had any hair on their head?
I do not recall seeing the operator's hair that day.
So it would be fair to say you don't know if they had long hair, short hair, anything of that nature?
That is correct.
Do you recall testifying at the preliminary hearing in this matter?
Yes, I do.
Can you recall what you said when asked a description of the driver of the vehicle you attempted to stop?
Yeah,
I don't recall word for word what I said.
Do you recall being asked the question?
I would think that I was, but I don't recall the exact words that I used then.
Just 1 second. Do you recall saying that the operator of the vehicle you attempted to stop had short hair and a short dark beard?
I'm not sure what the context is, but I don't recall saying that the person had short hair.
The context was the question of, did you get a description of the driver of the vehicle you attempted to stop?
I guess I'm not sure when you're speaking of, because was that when I saw the car or when we saw the vehicle after what witnesses said? It seems like I'm not sure exactly the time period. That
So are you talking about what witnesses said or what you actually saw?
Correct, that's what I'm confused about.
Well, you just said that you recall being asked at the preliminary hearing that you testified at a description of the operator of the motor vehicle. Would that be fair to say?
I don't understand your question.
I think it's very clear. You testified at the preliminary hearing in this matter, correct?
Yes, I did.
And were you not asked a description of the operator of the motor vehicle that you attempted to stop?
So I believe my testimony was at the preliminary hearing that I did not see the person's hair, if that's the specific time that you're speaking of.
I have a portion of that preliminary hearing that you testified at with your words right here.
Mr. Brooks, what page are you at?
I am at page 17.
All right, thank you.
And you were asked, could you see anybody inside the vehicle? Your answer was, at that point, but as the vehicle continued pushing through me, I was paused. My position changed to the side of the vehicle where I was directly outside the driver's side window. And I could see inside of the window and I could see the driver very clearly. Would that be fair to say that those are your statements?
Yes, sir.
So, could you or could you not see the driver clearly?
Your question is if I can see him clearly. Yes, I can see him clearly.
So why would you state that you couldn't see him clearly when asked the question?
I think you're asking about his hair.
So I asked about his hair before.
between-
This is a different question.
Could you ask your question again, please?
You just stated that you could see the driver clearly, correct?
Correct.
But you also said that you couldn't see the driver clearly, correct?
Objection, that's a mistake.
Grounds.
So, Mr. Brooks, I think it comes down to a little bit of context. I'm going to sustain the objection, and then if you would please rephrase. I think it comes down to at what point in time in the contact with the SUV are you referring?
At any time.
No, we need a question again, that question is vague.
Right. Put it all together. And what else? Sustain the objection.
At any time, could you see the driver clearly? At any time during your attempt to stop the vehicle?
Yes, at any time I could see the person clearly that was driving.
The entire time you attempted to stop it, you can clearly see the driver of the vehicle.
Well, one time you asked any time, and then you asked the entire time, so
Just answer the question, please, if you can. If not, say you don't understand it.
I don't understand it.
Just a second. Did you observe the vehicle strike anyone when you attempted to stop it?
No, I did not.
Did you see the vehicle strike anybody before it approached you?
No, I did not.
Would it be fair to say that there were hundreds of people present at the time that you attempted to stop the vehicle?
Yes, there were hundreds of people there.
And you saw no one struck by the vehicle?
That is correct.
Did you see if anyone else was, could you see rather, if anyone else was in the vehicle?
I did not see anybody else in the vehicle when I passed my location.
Do you recall there being any tinted windows to the vehicle you attempted to stop?
I do not recall the passenger front or the passenger rear being tinted. I believe that the rear windows on the SUV were tinted.
So it would be fair to say that from your vantage point, you wouldn't be able to see the entire seating of the vehicle you attempted to stop?
Objection, that's a misstatement.
Grounds.
Overruled. You can answer the question.
Could you re-ask the question, please?
Would it be fair to say that because of the tint to the rear windows that you cannot visibly see the seating of the vehicle that you attempted to stop?
I did not see anybody in the vehicle. I don't think that the tint had any reasons for me not to be able to see him.
So it would be fair to say that you could clearly see the seating of the vehicle you attempted to stop, front, passenger, and back seat.
From the limited view that I had, I thought that I could see it.
Even though you just said that the rears were tinted.
I believe that it's the far back windows in the passenger compartment that were tinted, not the passenger windows, from my memory.
So it would be fair to say you can recall every window that was tinted on the vehicle that you attempted to stop.
I think that question's been asked and answered, Your Honor. His answer
Grounds.
should stand.
Hold on, Mr. Brooks. The objection is sustained. Next question.
Detective Casey, are you a party to this case in any way?
I don't understand the question.
Are you a party to this case?
I don't understand the question.
Have you filed a claim in regards to this case?
I have not.
Have you read the complaint in this case?
I've read the complaint.
Do you recall who the complaint was brought by?
The complaint is brought by the state of Wisconsin, represented by the Waukesha County District Attorney's Office, District Attorney Sue Opper.
So the state of Wisconsin then would be the plaintiff in this matter then, correct?
That is correct, the state of Wisconsin.
Do you see the state of Wisconsin present in the courtroom right now?
Yes, I do. They are represented at the prosecution table by District Attorney Sue Hopper, Deputy District Attorney Leslie Basie, Assistant District Attorney Zach Wichell.
You said representing.
Yes, sir.
Do you see the plaintiff?
The plaintiff is an entity. They're District Attorney's office.
So the plaintiff is an entity.
Correct.
To the best of your knowledge, is an entity a human being?
An entity is an entity. It is not a human being.
To the best of your knowledge, being in law enforcement for as long as you have, would it be fair to say that an entity, which is not a human being, living person, can bring a claim against anyone?
I believe they.
Object, Your Honor, to the relevance.
Grounds.
Well, let her get her objection out, okay?
I mean, I've tried to be patient, but these questions really have no bearing on this.
The objection is sustained on relevance grounds. Next question.
Have you ever had any interaction with the plaintiff in this matter?
Objection,
Grounds.
irrelevant.
Sustained.
How long have you known the plaintiff in this matter?
Objection.
Grounds.
Let her get her objection out, Mr. Brooks. It's sustained on relevance grounds.
Well, I do respect, Your Honor. I think that those are valid questions to the matter.
Mr. Brooks, they've been sustained. Next question.
Just so we're clear for the record, you did hear the vehicle that you attempt to stop blow numerous times. Blow its horn.
Yes, I heard the horn blowing as it was approaching my position.
Would it be fair to say that that would indicate that the vehicle was trying to alert people to its presence?
Sustained. Speculation.
So would it be fair to say that the beeping of the horn was coming from the vehicle that you attempted to stop?
Objection asked and answered.
Grounds.
It has been asked and answered. One last time. He may answer, though. Go ahead. The objection's overruled.
I believe that it was coming from the vehicle that was coming to my position before escape.
I want to refer you again to page 15. It is from your testimony at the preliminary hearing.
Your Honor, that's improper because Detective Casey does not have the testimony transcript in front of him.
The district attorney is correct. This witness does not have the transcript in front of him.
So would that render him unable to recall what he testified to?
I don't know. You have to ask him that.
That's what I was attempting to do, Your Honor. I apologize. So just so I'm clear, am I allowed to read from this or no?
Just ask your question, Mr. Brooks.
From the best of your knowledge, do you recall stating in your testimony at the preliminary hearing that it was in fact the vehicle you attempted to stop that was blaring its horn?
Objection, that's not what the
Grounds.
transcript says.
Grounds.
And it's been asked and answered.
Sustained.
Were you injured in any way attempting to stop the vehicle?
I was not injured when I was trying to stop the vehicle.
What did you do after attempting to stop the vehicle?
I first got on my radio and advised the other units that were in the parade route that Red Ford Escape had went past my position. I requested additional squads to be sent 1039, which means red lights and siren. Shortly after that, I began running after the Ford Escape in an attempt to stop it, but the vehicle sped up to a speed that I couldn't keep up with it until it hit the next position.
Reading from the transcript, page 18. Do you recall us making a statement? Initially, I began, it's sort of what you just said. Initially, I began chasing after the vehicle to try to get it to stop. And as I was following behind the vehicle, I could see that it was on the north side of the roadway, at times beeping its horn. Would that be fair to say that you made that statement?
That is a fair statement.
So even after you attempted to stop the vehicle, you still observed the vehicle beeping its horn?
I heard the vehicle beeping its horn after it passed me.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Can you redirect?
Yes, just briefly. I'd like permission to put up Exhibit 120. Again, Your Honor, it's already been admitted and published.
Permission granted.
You've been asked here today several questions from Mr. Brooks about what you saw as the vehicle passed you. Is that correct?
Objection. I do not consent to being called that name, and I do not know the person that you referred to.
Is Exhibit 120, well, strike that. Do you know where on the parade route the vehicle was located when this screenshot was captured?
Objection. Hearsay.
Overruled.
Yes, I do.
Where?
Approximately the 200 block of West Main
That's
Street.
you, bro.
The building directly opposite the Ford Escape is 234 West Main Street.
You were back at the intersection of White Rock and Main Street, correct?
Yes, I was.
So about how far was it from where you saw the red SUV with Mr. Brooks driving to where this video was taken, and this is a screenshot from that video, correct?
Objection. I do not consent to being called that name, and I do not know the individual by who you refer to.
May I answer the question?
I would say that it's approximately 0.2 of a mile for me, a very short distance.
Okay. Was the appearance virtually the same from when you saw it to when this screenshot was captured?
Objection. Hearsay.
Overruled.
Yes, it was.
Are you able to see the driver of the vehicle in this screenshot, sir?
Objection. Hearsay.
Overruled.
Yes, I am.
Can you see the hair of the driver in this screenshot, sir?
You cannot see his hair.
As the vehicle went past you, back at your post on White Rock and Main, what were you focused on?
I was focused on the driver's face when it was driving past me.
Okay. You told us on direct examination on Friday you were able to pound on the hood, correct?
Correct.
Were you directly in front of the vehicle at that point?
Objection. He also said in his testimony on Friday that he can identify the clothing. He specifically said what the color of the
You're
clothing was.
attempting to testify. That's not a proper objection as to the specific objection, it's overruled, and Attorney Opper may complete her question.
Where were you positioned when you were pounding on the hood of the SUV?
Objection.
Overruled.
And by that, I don't mean the street, I mean where on the car.
I was directly in front of the vehicle by the left front bumper.
Did you have to step out of the way to avoid being struck?
Objection. Hearsay.
Overruled.
The vehicle came in contact with me. As it was pushing through me, I shuffled my feet to the side, and then I continued down the side of the vehicle where I came directly in view with the driver's side window.
Okay, so you would have been, what was the driver doing as it passed you?
Objection. Irrelevant.
As he passed you, I should say.
Overruled.
Objection. I do not consent to being called he.
Initially, he was staring straight ahead, and as I was pounding on the driver's side window, he turned and looked directly at my face.
Okay. The reason you were pounding on the hood and pounding on the driver's side window is what?
I was trying to get the vehicle to stop.
Did the vehicle stop?
The vehicle never stopped.
Did the driver make any effort to pull over or pull off the parade route at that stop?
Objection. Hearsay.
Overruled.
I initially chased after the vehicle, trying to get it to stop. Barstow, where it first made contact with people, the vehicle sped up, and I never saw it slow down or stop until I lost view of it at across Barstow Street.
Okay. Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you. And I step down. Statement called. Next witness.
Thank you. The state will call Officer Bryce Butenhoff.
So he just starts throwing out all types of objections because he's upset that you drove through the parade, right? And everybody was able to see you. You were seen before you drove through the parade. After you had assaulted your ex-girlfriend and everything, and they saw you. Somebody had an argument with you at the gas station because you were going down a one-way street. So now, okay, so you don't want to. You're upset now because you decide to be your own lawyer. So anyway, I just need to say before we continue that this show is sponsored by Restream. That is the platform that I use. Today we're only streaming to YouTube, but you can stream to over 30 channels simultaneously. I will share the Restream link in the description. And then I'll also share a code where if you decide that you want to sign up to Restream, you can get 20% off of signing up. Just want to show you one more thing before we get back into the video. Some of you are aware, I'm not sure if all of you that are here right now are aware that I am a triple negative breast cancer survivor. I did write a book. It's called Surviving Strong, Overcoming Triple Negative Breast Cancer with a Resilient Mindset. And it's available on Amazon. If you would like to support, you can go ahead and scan the GR code. It'll take you directly to Amazon where you can purchase the book. And also, if you do decide to go over to Amazon, give me a follow. And I appreciate you all in advance, and thank you so much for that. And just to soften the mood just a little bit, I've kind of I did for breast cancer work. It's 17 plus years for me. Every year is different. Like this stream was supposed to happen some days ago, but I do have people that were breast cancer patients. I don't want to call them patients. They were my friends, like 2 people, and it really got to me this week. And so I was, listening to the YSL trial over on Cat Not Williams channel, because I'm slime and clat and all that and lat whatever, and I'm in a chilat, and all that over there. So I did share with everyone over there that you did really help me get through my work day easier, because I would take breaks and look at the chat and jump in with the chat, and everybody has, so it's such a positive chat. That's what I like. I like for everybody to get along. We all can agree to disagree, and everybody has an opinion, and you can share your opinion here as long as it's done respectfully. So I don't, other than that, if it's done disrespectfully, we'll just remove it from the chat. But other than that, we all need to learn that we all can agree to disagree. I'm sure some of you agree about that. And so I just want to share with you really, really briefly, and I have broken it down. I'm not going to play the whole song, but I did write a song for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I'm not singing it. I wrote it. So your ears are safe. Your ears are safe, even though I do have a song out, but it's not. You can do music so many different ways. So, but for this, that's actually me on there. If you hit Survivor Speaks on any channel of social platform media, you will hear, like, I have a few songs out, but it's just because I'm just a creative, and sometimes my mind just goes and goes and goes. And so yeah, I do have some stuff out. So I just want to just share with you just a song that I wrote, and just to give you a little background on the video that you will see, I am a retired published paid model. So the visuals that you will see is from that. The first visuals with me in the pink, that was a personal breast cancer campaign that I did 2 years ago. So I used those pictures, and then you'll see some other pictures at the end. They are actually from modeling gigs that I did in the past. So please bear with me and tell me what you think in the comments. Thank you.
Yeah. When people ask who is she, I am a triple negative breast cancer survivor. You see, the intruder thought that it would end my life, but I have too many angels up in the sky, and God will not allow me to fail, and never puts more on me than I can bear. I've been through a lot, but through it all, God made sure I came out on top. Being on top looks different for everyone. To fail, and never puts more on me than I can bear. When people ask who is she, I am a triple negative breast cancer survivor. You see, the intruder thought that it would end my life, but I have too many angels up in the sky, and God will not allow me to fail, and never puts more on me than I can bear. I've been through a lot, but through it all, God made sure I came out on top. Being on top looks different for everyone. Being on top for me means counting my blessings, each and every one of them. God chooses his army wisely before creating our stories. I'm grateful every day, but God gets all the glory. If you ask how I'm still standing, I can only give you one reply, and that is, God don't play about me and mine. I'm a survivor. God is not through with me yet. I'm a survivor. God gets all the glory. I just ask him what's next. I'm a survivor. What else would you think? I'm a survivor, and beyond the chemo room, my black is pink. I'm a survivor. They are gonna feel us on this G.O.D. I'm a survivor. I block out the noise and it's just you and me. I'm a survivor. God, you promised that I would be healed. I'm a survivor. We beat triple negative breast cancer and left cancer dying on the field. I'm a survivor. I'm Survivor Speaks. Yeah. When they ask me who I am, tell them I'm Survivor Speaks. Shout out to G.O.D, who's number one in my life. God bless Survivor Speaks. Yeah, I'm a survivor. If you asked how I'm still standing, I can only give you one reply, and that is, God don't play about me and mine. I'm a survivor. God is not through with me yet. I'm a survivor. God gets all the glory. I just ask him what's next. I'm a survivor. What else would you think? I'm a survivor, and beyond the chemo room, my black is pink. I'm a survivor. They are gonna feel us on this G.O.D. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. What else would you think? I'm a survivor, and beyond the chemo room, my black like it's pink. I'm a survivor, they are gonna feel us on this G.O.D. I'm a survivor.
And there it is. Thank you. I just wanted to show you that. That is the song that I wrote for myself this year. Hold on one second. I'm sorry. It's just not. Hold on one second. It's giving me yeah. All right, there we go. Yeah, so that's a song that I just wrote for myself this year. I wanted to be more public with awareness, because for the last couple of years I shut down. So I didn't want to, shut down this year. I actually wanted to bring awareness. And thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much for the kind comments. I really appreciate it. And I know it's a lot of clack in here. K&W. I always enjoy spending time with you guys, because you make everything so easy, and I just love being in the, like I said, in chats, in Cat's chat, because it's so positive. And that's the same thing that I'm striving for over here. I was going to give up on the whole YouTubing thing, but actually after being over in in Cat's channel, I got kind of inspired to just stick with it and go back to what I initially started my channel for, which was true crime. So here I am. So I'm always grateful for Cat and all of my beautiful slime co-conspirators. Thank you so much, Drea, and all my slime co-conspirators from over there in Cash channel. I'm overjoyed right now, but let's get back to this. So I will keep you here long for what we're going to do today. Thank you so much, Drea. You always have such kind words for me, and I do appreciate it. All right, I don't understand how we got here, but let's fix this. And thank you. And I don't know why we got this background either. Hold on. There he is.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Please have a seat. First thing I will ask you to do is to state your first and last for the record and spell each.
First is Bryce, B-R-Y-C. Last is Butryn, B-U-T-R-Y-N.
Thank you. Go ahead, your witness.
Thank you. Sir, how are you currently employed?
As a police officer with the City of Waukesha Police Department.
How long have you been a police officer?
Approximately 5 years.
Were you on duty on the date of November 21, 2021, sir?
Yes, I was.
And what was your duty?
I was assigned to a traffic control post for the annual holiday parade.
And what time did you start that afternoon?
I believe it was approximately 3 p.m.
Okay. And you were given a specific assignment of an area to patrol along the parade route?
Yes, I was.
Where was that location?
I was initially assigned to East Avenue and Arcadian Avenue, and I had repositioned to East Avenue and East Main Street.
When you got up to near the parade route, did you just stay in that area, sir, or?
Yes, I did.
Were there any other officers present in that area?
Yes, there was.
And were you just watching the parade and monitoring the people?
Correct.
At some point, did something unusual occur?
Yes.
What was that?
There was initial radio traffic of squads being dispatched to what was initially coded as a man with a knife call. There was information that there was a fight occurring in Frame Park. And then after that, there was radio traffic that there was a vehicle that was entering the parade route.
Okay. And you were near the beginning of the parade route, as you just showed us, right?
Yes.
Okay. When you heard that information about a car entering the parade route, what did you do?
Based on the information that was available at that time and previous situations that had occurred, I unholstered my firearm and stood and began walking out into the road on East Main Street.
What were you doing?
Trying to get the attention of the driver to divert them off the parade road.
Okay. And how far into the road did you go?
I was initially positioned right at the intersection on the south side of Main Street. I made my way to the north side of Main Street and I would estimate maybe 50 feet or so from the intersection of Northeast Avenue.
Okay. Were you able to visually see the red SUV at that point?
Yes, I was.
What was it doing when you first saw it?
The vehicle was traveling on the north side of Main Street. It was honking its horn, and I estimated the speed to be traveling approximately 25 miles per hour.
What did you do?
I had raised my left hand and was telling the vehicle to stop, and the vehicle was ignoring what I was doing.
As you stood in that position with your hand straight out trying to stop the car, would you say the car was off to one of your sides or directly in front of you? Could you tell us the position of the SUV?
The vehicle was directly in front of me. I would estimate my position to be where the front license plate would be on the vehicle, so right in the middle.
And what distance was the SUV away from you when you did this?
I would estimate the vehicle was approximately 200 feet or so. It came extremely close to me as it was making its way towards me.
Did you maintain that same position that you just described for us?
Yes, I did, until the vehicle was getting to the point where I believed that it was going to strike me, so I moved out of the way.
Were you saying anything?
I was saying stop to indicate to the driver that stop the vehicle.
Were you saying that in normal conversational tone, or did you raise your voice at all?
I was yelling to get the attention of the driver as it was loud outside and it was cold, so I believe the windows were going to be up on the vehicle.
Okay. And your testimony is that you stayed in the position with your left hand extended in a stop motion for about as long as you could until you felt you had to move away to avoid being struck by the SUV?
That is correct.
If the SUV was coming directly towards you, did you step to the right or the left of the SUV?
I would have stepped to the right of the SUV, which would be the driver's side of the vehicle.
Okay. Were you able to see the driver of the vehicle as it went past you?
I was able to get a general description of the driver.
What do you remember?
I remember the driver to be a black, wearing a gray or shirt, and appeared to be wearing a hat, have their hood up.
Okay. Would you say you got a good look at the driver's face?
I would say yes, I got a relatively good look at the driver's face.
Okay. Did you observe any facial hair on the driver?
At that time, I did not.
And did the car go right past you, sir?
Yes, it did.
As it went right past you, did anything obstruct your vision to see into the car?
No, it did not.
Were you able to see into the car, the SUV?
Yes, I was.
Did you see any other persons in the SUV?
I did not. There was only one sole occupant, which would be the driver of the vehicle.
As you were yelling at the SUV to stop and holding out the stop sign, did the vehicle stop?
The vehicle did not stop.
Did you see what the driver was doing as he went past you?
The driver appeared to be emotionless and was looking straight ahead, clearly ignoring anything that was to the sides of the vehicle.
Okay. Did you hear the vehicle honking its horn?
Yes, I did.
Thank
More
you
than
for
once?
coming in.
Yes, multiple
Right.
times.
As the vehicle went past you, what did you do?
I had lowered my firearm gun to my side and I attempted to grab the driver's side door with my left hand
Why'd you do that?
in order to hopefully open the door and gain the attention of the driver to get them to stop.
Are you able to estimate the speed of the vehicle as it went past you?
Objection. Hearsay.
Oh, overruled. He may answer.
Based on my training experience, I estimated the vehicle to be traveling approximately 25 miles an hour at that time.
Were you able to get the door handle open?
I was not.
Did you get a hand on it?
I did not. The vehicle was traveling too fast to be able to do that.
Okay. You reached for it but missed, basically.
That's correct.
Okay. Did you continue to watch the vehicle as it went past you?
Objection. Irrelevant.
Overruled.
I had watched the vehicle and I began to chase after it westbound on Main Street.
On foot?
Yes, on foot.
Were you walking or running? What were you doing?
I was running after it.
Were you saying anything at that time?
Objection. Irrelevant.
Overruled.
At that point, after the vehicle passed me, I was not saying anything, I just began chasing it.
Okay. And you were running after it.
Yes,
Were you able to catch it?
I was not. The vehicle was traveling too fast.
Can you approximate the speed of the vehicle at this location?
After the vehicle had passed me, I appeared to have begun increasing its speed. The vehicle was traveling approximately 30 to 35 miles an hour.
Did you see the red SUV strike anyone?
Not between the intersections of Northeast Avenue and Northwest Barstow Street.
How about once it crossed Barstow?
Yes.
What did you see? You
I
can take your time. I'm sorry. I know this is a lot of questions, so.
observed the vehicle swerving side to side. People flying from the vehicle, items flying in the air, things like that.
Do you know, Officer Buttrin, as you have to reflect on this in your testimony, who was being struck? Do you remember a uniform or a description of any type?
There was so many things flying at that point, I don't know what was being struck.
Okay. Now, you were trying to keep up with the vehicle, right, on foot?
Yes, I was.
To be clear, there's no squad cars chasing the defendant's vehicle, correct?
Not at that time, no.
Okay, just officers on foot trying to catch up.
That's correct.
And at any point did you see the vehicle just pull over to the side of the road and stop?
Hearsay.
Overruled.
From the time that I could visually observe the vehicle, I did not see a stop or pull to the side of the road.
After you saw the SUV strike other human beings, did you see the driver stop, pull over, and check on those persons?
Objection. Irrelevant.
Overruled.
No, I did not. The vehicle continued.
Was the driver of the SUV still honking the horn?
Objection. Hearsay.
Overruled.
From the distance that the vehicle had traveled away from me, I could not at that time hear what the vehicle was doing.
Okay. I'm going to show a couple videos to you, okay, sir? That's a touch screen in front of you, sir. Can you circle yourself in the video? All right, and next to it looks like there's a person in a yellow vest that reads police. Is that correct?
Objection. We're referring to the officer giving testimony, not the officer that's present with him.
Overruled.
Yes, that is correct.
Who was that officer?
That'll be Officer Schneider.
Okay. And what's the crossroad here again? If you could just remind us. We'll start on the south side of the street.
The objection's noted. It's overruled. He may answer.
On the south side of the street where the squad is parked, that is going to be Northeast Avenue.
Okay. And on the north side of the street?
I believe that'll be Buckley Street.
Okay. So can you erase? You can clear the screen, please. Oh, clerk did it. Thank you. Just kind of draw a line or point out where Buckley Street is. It's a little hard to see exactly at this moment, correct?
Correct.
You just show the okay. And as this video plays, you can see Buckley Street a little clearer as the people move. Is that right?
That is correct.
Okay. All right, please clear. Thank you. All right, we're going to go ahead and play this in its duration. It's 37 seconds in length. There you go.
Correct.
All right, Officer Veteran, again, it's not a 100% clear shot, but you can see you making your way around the front of that white pickup truck, correct?
Correct.
That was one of the entries in the parade?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. And then you kind of go out of view behind that white pickup truck, correct?
That is correct.
Is that the area where you encountered Mr. Brooks in the SUV?
Objection. I do not identify by the name, nor do I consent to it.
That is where I had initially placed my hand out in front of me and advising the vehicle to stop.
Okay. How far down that parade route did you run?
I made it all the way down to Parlor. I believe the address is in the 100 block of West Main Street, so all the way down Main Street until it makes the curve and ends.
Okay. And you were not able to catch up to the SUV, correct?
No.
But again, as you previously testified, the SUV had not stopped anywhere along that route, correct?
Objection. I already asked this question, and it was answered already.
It's foundational, Your Honor.
Overruled.
Correct. I never observed the vehicle stop at any point that I was making my way down the route.
As you were running down the route, did you encounter people who had been struck and injured?
Objection. I already asked question.
Overruled.
Yes, I did.
What do you remember about that, sir?
There were multiple casualties on both sides of the road, varying degrees of injuries to people. The only way to describe it is just pure chaos. There was people pulling at me in multiple directions trying to help people.
Did you attempt to render first aid to some people?
Initially from the area of Barstow to the area of about Clinton Street. There's still an active start of the vehicle, so I continued to chase after that vehicle to stop the threat. And then when I made my way to Clinton Street and westbound from there, began to render aid.
Okay. At some point much later in the night, are you aware that the vehicle that was suspected to have been involved in this incident was found on Maple Street? Do you remember where the vehicle was parked?
Objection. Irrelevant.
Overruled.
I do not recall the address in which it was parked, but I do know the position where the vehicle was parked, yes.
Could you just briefly describe how the vehicle was parked?
Objection. Irrelevant.
Overruled.
The vehicle was backed into a driveway at a residence on Maple Street.
Okay. And do you remember looking around the area where the vehicle had traveled near the residence on Maple Street?
Yes.
Do you remember finding a hat at that location?
Objection. Irrelevant.
Overruled.
Yes, I do.
As for Exhibit 92 to be previewed for the witness, please. Do you remember seeing that item?
Yes, I do.
Objection. Hearsay. How can we know for sure that that hat wasn't by somebody that lives in the building?
Mr. Brooks, you can't testify. You're attempting to do that. I'll instruct you not to. Your objection is overruled, and Exhibit 19 is received. Permission to publish is granted.
Do you remember seeing that hat in the backyard area, sir?
Yes, I do.
In fact, you remember asking the people at the residence if any of them owned that hat?
There was one male that came out that had taken a picture and asked the rest of the residents at that location if it was any of theirs.
And did it belong to anyone?
They indicated that it did not.
Officer Butcher, the videos that we saw, Exhibit 16 and 17, I asked you about that side road on the north side of the street, north side of Main Street, Buckley Street, correct?
That is correct.
Were there any barricades at that location, sir?
Objection. Hearsay.
Overruled.
Yes, there were. If I remember correctly, there were 3 barricades.
And did they fully block the roadway at that location?
Yes.
If Mr. Brooks had wanted to leave the parade route, would he have been able to get out of that location?
I do not consent to that name, or nor do I know any individual by that name.
Yes, there would have been a reasonable exit point.
Would there have been anything other than those plastic barricades that would have blocked his exit from the parade at that spot?
Objection. Hearsay.
It's not hearsay. It's overruled. He may answer.
No, the only thing that would have been struck was the plastic barricade.
Okay. Thank you. Those are all my questions, sir.
You may ask this witness questions, Mr. Brooks.
Yes. Officer, is it Butcher?
Correct.
Good morning, officer. You stated that you had got, or you heard a radio call about a knife fight in Frame Park?
That is correct.
Did you ever at any time follow up or go to Frame Park to investigate the said knife fight?
No, I did not.
Did you learn any initial information about the said fight?
No, I did not.
Do you know who reported the knife fight?
No, I do not.
So you also stated that you heard the vehicle that was approaching honking its horn multiple times. Is that correct? A reason that someone operating a motor vehicle will honk their horn.
Objection, speculation.
Overruled. Can answer.
There are multiple reasons why a vehicle would do that.
Can you give any specific reason?
To alert people or vehicles in the area that there's a vehicle coming.
And you also stated that you didn't see anyone struck when while the vehicle was approaching you?
Between the area that I observed the vehicle and Northwest Barstow Street, I did not see anybody struck, no.
Would it be fair to say that you also didn't see the vehicle target anyone?
Objection, speculation.
Calls for speculation on the part of the witness. So it's sustained. You can rephrase your question.
Did you
was
see,
asked calls for speculation.
while the vehicle was approaching you, you stated that you may be 200 feet away, I think would that be fair to say?
Yes.
Did you see the vehicle actively targeting anyone to strike it?
Same objection.
Sustained as to the form of the question.
What would you estimate the population was right at what was shown on the video? Was it hundreds of people, dozens of people, right in the general area that you were?
I would estimate there's probably several hundred people in that area.
And you saw no one struck?
Objection made.
Can you rephrase, please, just to be specific?
Out of the hundreds of people that were in your general area, you didn't witness anyone being struck by the vehicle?
Not initially.
You also stated that there were barricades in the general area that you were?
Yes.
Were they off to the side? Were they in front of you? Where were the barricades located?
They would have been located on Buckley Street and on Northeast Avenue.
Would it be fair to say that those were the side streets coming into the main street?
Yes.
So would it be fair to say that a vehicle that was on the parade route would have to go down one of those side streets that was barricaded off to exit the parade route?
Yes.
And from your perspective, would a vehicle that was on the parade route know that they can exit from those areas that were barricaded?
Objection, speculation.
Sustained.
Were you injured in any way by the vehicle?
No.
And in the video was pretty short video. Would it be fair to say that the vehicle passed you relatively quickly?
Yes.
And you were able to get a look at the operator of the vehicle as quickly as it passed you?
Yes.
Did you notice any tinting to any of the windows on the vehicle?
No.
So you were able to see inside of the vehicle pretty clearly?
Yes.
Did you get a description of what the operator of the vehicle was wearing?
You.
Yes.
You stated that the operator of the vehicle was wearing a hat. Would that be fair to say?
The operator vehicle could be wearing a hat or have their hood up.
If you got a clear description of the operator of the vehicle, wouldn't you know if it was a hat or a hood?
Objection, argumentative.
You
Right.
had on the hood.
Sustained. Rephrase your question.
Would the vehicle have been moving too fast for you to clearly see if the driver had anything on their head?
No.
About how fast would you estimate that the vehicle was traveling when it passed you?
Approximately 25 miles per hour.
About how fast would you estimate the vehicle was traveling when it was approaching you?
Approximately 25 miles per hour.
Were you able to hear the vehicle honking before it approached you or when it came upon you?
I was able to hear the vehicle honking before it approached me.
Did you hear the vehicle honk after it had passed you or came in contact with you?
No, I did not.
Would it be fair to say that the video shows that you can clearly see let me rephrase that. Would it be fair to say that the video that was shown, you can clearly hear the vehicle honking?
No.
Can we play the video again for the witness?
Which video?
Exhibit 17. Pause it right here. So at the time, we see you run over to where this white, I think that's a pickup truck. Is that you?
Yes.
At that time, had you heard the vehicle honking?
I don't recall.
What prompted you to move so quickly to jog towards the area that you were jogging to?
The radio traffic that I had heard.
So at that time, did you see a vehicle approaching?
From my position here, I don't know exactly when I had observed the vehicle.
Continue playing. Pause right there. Would it be fair to say that that was not just a horn that was heard honking after the vehicle was past you?
I did not hear a horn, no.
Wind it back. I can hear a horn.
Sir, you can't testify, so you can ask a question of this witness, we'll watch it again,
When,
but at
Let
some
me ask
point
you-
you can't argue with
let me
it.
ask this question. When did you observe or hear the vehicle honking? At which part in this video?
At no point in this video did I hear the horn honking.
But you did in fact hear the vehicle honking.
Yes.
Do you remember what you were generally doing when you heard the vehicle honking?
Making my way to the north side of Main Street to get the vehicle to stop.
So that would be when you were sprinting over to the white pickup truck.
Correct.
That's when you heard the vehicle honking.
Sometime in between there, yes.
And you heard it multiple times.
Yes.
And to the best of your knowledge, a honking horn from a vehicle would indicate trying to alert people to its presence, correct?
There are several reasons why a vehicle would honk the horn.
Would you honk your vehicle to alert people to your presence?
Objection, irrelevant.
Grounds.
It's not relevant, sustained.
You said it would be multiple reasons that a vehicle will honk its horn. Would it be fair to say that one of those reasons would be to alert?
Objection asked and answered.
Overruled, he may answer it, you may finish your question, but
Would it be fair to ask that that would be to alert the many people that we can see in this video right now to the presence of the vehicle approaching?
Yes.
Officer Butcher, I see you in the uniform today. Would it be fair to ask that you would be on duty right now if not called to testify?
No, I would not be.
So this would be an off day?
I'm currently on vacation, yes.
Do you normally wear your uniform on vacation?
Objection, argumentative.
Grounds.
he may answer.
Only if I have something related to police activity or duty.
Do you feel that it was necessary to wear your uniform in court today?
Objection,
Grounds.
argumentative.
Sustained, next question.
Are you a party to this matter in any
Objection,
grounds?
irrelevant.
Grounds.
It's not relevant.
Do you have claim in this matter?
Objection, irrelevant.
Grounds.
Sustained,
Have you read the complaint in this matter?
Objection,
Grounds.
irrelevant.
not relevant, sustained.
Do you know who the plaintiff is in this matter?
Objection, irrelevant.
Grounds.
Sustained,
Can you testify on who called you to testify? Who subpoenaed you to testify here this morning?
I believe it was the state of Wisconsin.
So the state of Wisconsin would be the plaintiff in this matter, to your knowledge?
Objection, Your
Grounds.
Honor. This question is irrelevant.
Grounds.
sustained, it's not relevant, sir. Sustained, next
How much
question.
most relevant? Who called him to testify?
He already answered.
You've had interactions with the state of Wisconsin?
Objection,
Grounds.
irrelevant and vague.
Grounds.
Sustained,
State of Wisconsin is a living human being or entity?
Objection,
Grounds.
irrelevant.
sustained,
So you in fact don't have a claim in this matter, correct?
Objection, irrelevant.
Grounds.
sustained,
You are aware that all police departments are funded by the state of Wisconsin, are you not?
Objection, irrelevant.
Grounds.
sustained,
Accurate.
Grounds.
sustained,
If that's an inaccurate statement, then who pays you?
Objection, irrelevant.
overruled, he may answer. I assume you mean who pays him his salary.
Correct.
He may answer.
The city of Waukesha.
Is the city of Waukesha in the state of Wisconsin?
Yes.
Is the city of Waukesha the plaintiff in this case?
No.
How long have you known the plaintiff in this case?
Objection.
Grounds.
Irrelevant.
Grounds.
Sustained, next question.
So to the best of your knowledge, you've never even had any interaction with the plaintiff in this matter?
Objection,
Grounds.
irrelevant.
Sustained. Mr. Brooks, under 906.11, if you need to move on to a new topic of cross-exam, otherwise I will declare the cross-exam opportunity closed.
At any time when the vehicle passed you, did you hear the vehicle honk?
Objection, asked and answered.
Sustained.
Is it fair to say that in the video clip that we were just shown, no one was struck?
Correct.
Would it also be fair to say that in the video we just saw, the vehicle did not attempt to strike anyone?
Objection, speculation.
Grounds.
Sustained. Calls for speculation on the part of the vehicle operator.
We can clearly see in the video that no one was attempting to be struck. How's that not relevant?
The jury will disregard the last statement made by Mr. Brooks as he may not testify at this point in time. Next question, please.
Just
You're an
for the record, I don't
attorney.
seem to be called that name, Your Honor. Is it fair to say that by the video footage, and to the best of your knowledge, no one was struck before the vehicle approached your presence?
Objection,
Grounds.
asked and answered.
Grounds.
Asked and answered. Sustained. Next question.
I didn't answer the question.
The witness did.
To the best of your knowledge, at that point where you observed the vehicle, to your knowledge, no one had been struck at that point. And for the record, you have no claim in this matter whatsoever.
Objection, irrelevant.
Sustained.
Were you injured in any way during this matter?
No.
No further questions.
You read your record.
Just very briefly, Officer Butcher, can you clearly see north on Buckley Street from this vantage point, sir?
Yes, I can.
You see one plastic barricade obstructing travel to go northbound on Buckley Street at that location, sir?
Objection. You can clearly see officers there too.
Jury will disregard at least the attempt to testify by Mr. Brooks. Your objection is noted. It's overruled. He may answer the question.
Yes, there's at least one barricade visible there.
Okay. And I am going to ask the exhibit be replayed in its entirety with no one talking so we can all listen to hear if the horn is honking. So, Ms. Gussie, please play it again from the beginning.
Permission granted.
Thank you. Exhibit 17 has been played in full. Officer Buttrin, at any point were you able to hear the horn honking in that video, sir?
No, I was not.
Thank you. I don't have any other questions.
All right, thank you. You may step down. All right, this will be a good stopping point for our mid-morning break. We'll take a 15-minute break. All rise for the jury, please.
We still have yet to address the subject matter jurisdiction. Will that be addressed at some point?
Mr. Brooks, that's a frivolous matter. We've already addressed that. I direct your attention to the Beneby decision, United States versus Beneby, found at 654 F3rd 753. So I have addressed it.
Is that a judicial determination, Your Honor? If you want to address the subject matter jurisdiction?
The record stands, Mr. Brooks.
Would a verified statement of particulars by affidavit be? Is that a type of agreement, Your Honor?
Thank you, everyone. Please be seated. Attorney Operative Statement calls next witness.
Thank you. The State Call Officer Schneider.
I do. Thank you. Please have a seat. First thing I will ask you to do is to state your...
Is that a tacket agreement, Your Honor? What is a tacket agreement? What is tacket? He just gets worse and worse. What is tacket? Tacket. Can anybody find tacket in the dictionary as it relates to the law? I'll wait.
Your first and last names for the record, and then spell each.
Okay. My name is Sonia Schneider. Sonia is Sonia. Schneider is Schneider.
Thank you. Go ahead, your witness.
Thank you. Officer Schneider, how are you currently employed?
I'm employed with the City of Waukesha Police Department.
How long have you worked in law enforcement?
A little over 3 years now.
And were you working on the date of November 20, 2021? I'm sorry, November 21, 2021.
I was.
What were your duties that day?
My duties were to secure the parade route and then provide traffic and pedestrian control.
Were you assigned to a specific location?
Yes, I was to be the intersection of East Main Street and Northeast Avenue.
And was that your post throughout the entire event?
It was.
Do you remember about what time you arrived at that location?
I believe it was around 3 p.m.
Okay. And when you got there, what were your responsibilities? Or what did you do?
We closed down traffic from Buckley to Northeast and put up barricades.
Okay. And were you dressed in police uniform that day?
I was dressed as I am right now.
And did you also have on a fluorescent vest?
I did.
Okay. And that lettering on that vest read police?
Yes.
Okay. At some point during the parade, was your attention drawn to a vehicle described as a red SUV?
It was.
How was your attention drawn to that vehicle?
Well, initially we heard a call come out in the area of Frame Park about a potential man-knife fight. And then shortly after, I heard radio traffic about a vehicle going through the barricades or past the barricades.
What action, if any, did you take?
I was standing next to Officer Buttrin. He began to move forward, and as I observed the red SUV coming towards Officer Buttrin and not stopping, I ran forward to also try to intercept the vehicle.
What did you do?
I positioned myself right in front of the SUV for about a moment and tried to direct the vehicle off to Buckley, which would be to the right of the roadway.
Okay. And you said you positioned yourself right in front of the vehicle, is that right?
Yes.
Into the roadway itself?
I stood directly in the path of the SUV, which was the entire right lane or north side of the street.
Okay. Did you say anything or gesture in any fashion to the vehicle?
I was just gesturing with my hands to try to get the driver to observe me in the street.
All right. Now you said your intention was to try and direct the vehicle off onto Buckley Street.
It was.
Was that a possibility from where the vehicle was located when you first saw it?
It was. The vehicle had time to slow down and make that turn.
Okay. And you said you were facing the vehicle head on, correct?
I was, I believe, if not exactly head on, at least, to the side where most of the front of my body would be facing it.
Okay. So you could see it coming, in other words.
Very clearly.
And you could see, because you were able to face the vehicle head on, you were able to see that at some point you needed to step out of the way so you yourself were not struck. Is that fair to say?
Objection. Being the witness.
Sustained, please rephrase.
As you stood in the middle of the road, facing the vehicle, did you stay in that position?
I did not. I was very concerned the car was going to hit me.
So what did you do?
I jumped out of the way.
Did you make any efforts to interact with the vehicle in any way?
I believe that I had hit out at the car.
Okay. Were you able to see the driver of the car?
I was.
What did you observe about the driver of the car?
It looked to be an African American male with brown eyes and brown hair.
Did the driver of the SUV react to your presence in any way?
When I observed the driver, he had no expression on his face and he was looking straight ahead as if he was looking straight through me.
Just the
And
way
that
you
never
look
changed?
while sitting at
Did the driver of the
the
SUV
table.
follow your direction and leave the parade route at Buckley?
No, he did not. As a matter of fact, he appeared to speed up.
Are you able to estimate speeds at this location?
Objection. You're safe.
Overruled.
I would estimate the speed to be anywhere from 30 to 40 miles per hour.
Were you able to see how many people were inside the SUV as it went by you?
I couldn't see the back seat clearly, but I observed only one person in the front of the vehicle.
Okay. And that was the driver, correct?
Correct.
That you just described for us earlier.
Correct.
Okay. I'm going to show you an item that's been marked and received as Exhibit 17. So if you could please point out for the jury your location in Exhibit 17. You can circle on the screen if you want to touch screen.
This is me.
And next to you?
That's
to your
Officer,
right?
that's Officer Buttran.
Okay. At this point, what are you and Officer Buttran doing?
We were, again, providing that traffic and pedestrian control for the intersection.
Okay. All right. We're going to go ahead and play this clip. It's 37 seconds long, and we'll just play it through, and then we can stop and ask questions if we need to, okay? Officer Schneider, is that consistent with your recollection of the events?
It is.
I saw in Exhibit 17 at one point you appeared to leave your post on the south side of the road and run into the road. Is that what happened?
Correct.
And the vehicle went past you then?
It did.
At that point, Officer Schneider, did you hear the honking its horn at all?
I never.
Never at any point?
Never at any point.
Okay. I'd also like to show Exhibit number 18. So
What's the relevancy of the video?
The objection is noted, it's overruled, and Exhibit 18 is received. Permission to publish is granted.
Officer Schneider, can you see yourself in this video at this point?
Yes.
Can you please circle yourself so the jury knows what to watch for?
Over there.
Okay. And please clear the screen. All right, we're going to play this video in its entirety now. Again, is that the moment when you ran up to the SUV and tried to stop it?
It was.
Okay.
He
After the SUV had gone by you,
I don't care.
at some point were you aware that individuals further down to your west had been struck by the SUV?
Yeah, there was what I would call screaming on the radio.
Police radio.
Correct.
Okay. And you didn't see the SUV actually strike anybody, correct?
I did not see that.
When you heard the screaming and heard of the report of problems to your west, what did you do?
Overruled.
Initially, I was just trying to, I didn't know if there was going to be another vehicle coming because we didn't know what was going on. So I was trying to get people out of the roadway, and as soon as I heard the screaming on the radio, I began making my way downtown.
Did you encounter any people with injuries?
I did. I was stopped by numerous people who said that their children had potentially been nicked. The worst one was a adolescent female that was laying in the road with her family around her.
Do you know the first name of that adolescent female?
Jessica.
Overruled.
I'm sorry, your answer may have been blocked by Mr. Brooks' objection, so please repeat it.
I do not consent to that name, nor am I that person.
Noted. You may answer.
Jesselyn.
Do you know which group or unit in the parade she was with?
She was in a dance squad.
Okay. Did you attempt to render aid to Jesselyn?
I did.
Were her injuries significant?
They were.
At some point, did you go further westbound on Main Street and try and tend to more individuals?
I walked towards the direction of Mountaintop Coffee, and I was directed to stand guard over one of the deceased.
Do you know the name of that person?
I believed it was Virginia, but I learned later that she was misidentified.
Okay. Who was it that you were standing guard over?
Overruled.
I never inquired the true name of the individual that I ended up being by.
Could you tell which group or unit in the parade that deceased person was associated with?
Overruled.
She was one of the dancing grannies.
What would be the purpose in having you stand by with a person who had suffered fatal injuries?
To preserve the scene and relieve a community service officer who was standing there initially.
Okay. Thank you, Officer Schneider. I don't have any questions beyond that.
Thank you. Any cross, Mr. Brooks?
Yes. Officer Schneider. It would be fair to say from the video footage that was shown that you were standing directly next to Officer Butenhoff. Is that correct?
That is correct.
For any reason, would you have, being that you were so close next to him, not heard the same things that he heard?
Objection, I think that calls for
Grounds.
Calls for speculation.
How long before you saw the approaching vehicle?
I heard radio traffic about it going past the barricades, and I would say it was a couple seconds later that we saw it coming down the street.
Did you observe anyone being struck at that time?
I did not.
Did you observe anyone being struck after the vehicle passed you?
I did not.
Would it be fair to say from the video footage that was shown that the vehicle passed you in maybe a second, if that?
A second to 2 seconds. Yes.
Do you think that would be enough time to get a clear description of who was driving the vehicle?
Yes, I do.
And why do you believe that?
Because I saw the driver very clearly.
You saw the driver very clearly in 1 second.
Yes, sir.
And do you recall if the driver had hair?
I do.
Do you recall if the driver was wearing a hat?
I don't recall that.
Do you recall anything that the driver may have been wearing?
No, I don't.
Do you recall seeing anyone in the back seat?
I couldn't see the back seat from my position.
Why could you not see the back seat?
Because there's front seats in the way.
Were there any tinting to the vehicle that you saw?
Not that I saw.
So you saw no tinted windows at all on the vehicle?
I do not recall seeing tinted windows.
Would it be fair to say from the video that there was a barricade set up at the cross street of Buckley?
Yes.
Would it be also fair to say that you couldn't turn down Buckley Street because of the barricade?
The street was barricaded.
Could you make a turn down the street that was barricaded?
We were in the room.
You could make a turn, but it was barricaded.
How can you make a turn on a barricaded street? How would you be able to do that?
If a vehicle were to slow down, the barricade could be moved.
So a vehicle would actually have to stop and then make the turn.
That's correct.
Were there any law enforcement officers posted at the barricade?
On that side of the street near Buckley, we had a reserve officer, I believe.
Do you recall if any one of those officers or officer attempted to stop the vehicle?
I couldn't tell you about that.
Was there any report of the officer that was standing at the barricade to stop the vehicle?
Again,
So to the best of your knowledge, only you and Officer Butcher attempted to stop the vehicle?
to the best of my knowledge, yes.
And there were other officers present?
The other individual who was present is not a sworn patrol officer.
Were they law enforcement?
No, they're considered a reserve officer.
Were they wearing any gear that may have identified them as an officer?
I don't recall what that officer or that reserve officer was wearing.
Can we show Exhibit 17 again? Or Exhibit 17?
You want it published or just shown to the witness?
I want to show them to the witness.
Permission granted.
Would it be fair to say that at that intersection that has the red light facing towards the camera, that there is, in fact, someone who appears to be law enforcement standing right there?
Objection vague.
Sustained.
Can you-
Rephrase.
Would it be fair to say that someone standing at that intersection that appears to be wearing the same police vest attire that you are wearing?
Objection vague.
Grounds.
Mr. Brooks can use the touchscreen on his monitor as well, correct?
Correct. I'm going to overrule the objection. I think what he was asking is clear enough, so you may answer.
There is an individual on the Buckley side of the intersection wearing a high-res traffic vest.
Is it similar in any way to the vest that you are wearing?
It appears to be so, yes.
So would it be fair to say that the appearance of them wearing the same attire as you, that they would be easily identified as law enforcement?
I would go so far as to say that they would be at least highly visible to people, yes.
Would someone who's not in the law enforcement field possibly for any reason mistake them as law enforcement?
Possibly, yes.
Can you play it just for a couple of seconds so we can get a clear look at the individual that I'm referring to?
Exactly how many seconds, Mr. Brooks?
I don't consent to being called that name. Can you go back a second?
Judge, it's not possible to jump back in 1 second increments.
Go back to the beginning, please.
Right there.
Ask your question.
Do you know that individual right there?
I don't recall who that was, no.
Did you see them at any time attempt to stop the vehicle or redirect the vehicle?
I did not observe that myself, no.
You can take the exhibit down. Can you put up exhibit 18 for the query? Pause it right there. Would it be fair to say that that was just a horn that was heard?
No, I don't hear a horn.
You don't hear a horn.
I do not hear a horn.
Can we start that from the beginning?
For the record, Mr. Brooks.
Objection. Objection. I do not consent to be called that name, Your Honor. Nor do I guess. Pause it. Would it be fair to say that that was not just a horn that was heard on this video?
I will stick with my original answer on that.
So your original answer would be that you did not just hear a horn on this video that was being played.
That's correct.
So would it be any reason that
They say she heard the horn.
anyone else would have heard a horn?
Objection, speculation.
Sustained calls for speculation on the part of this witness.
Did you at any time get a chance to read the report by Officer Butcher, who's standing right next to you during this event?
I did not read his report.
Did you have any conversation with him about what he may have observed or heard that evening?
Can you clarify what you mean?
Did you have any conversation with Officer Butcher about what he may have observed or heard on that evening?
I believe that the evening that later, after everything had calmed down, we had talked for a little bit.
Did he state to you that he had heard a horn beeping at any time during your conversation?
Objection, hearsay, move to strike the question.
Grounds.
Oh. Sustained calls for hearsay.
Do you recall what the conversation was about when you talked that evening?
I can't recall specifics, no.
Did you in any way talk about what had happened that evening at the parade?
Yeah, it would be about the parade, but I can't, again, tell you specifics of what we talked about.
You don't recall?
I've already answered that.
But you're sure that you had some talks about what you may have seen?
Objection, repetitive.
Grounds.
Asked and answered.
Just so we're clear for the record, from your recollection, would it be fair to say that Officer Butcher saw the approaching vehicle before you did?
Objection,
Grounds.
speculation.
Grounds.
Sustained calls for speculation on the part of this witness. Next question.
At what point did you see the vehicle? Once it was past Officer Butcher or before it had passed him?
I saw the vehicle coming from the White Rock location, so it was before the vehicle had even approached Officer Butcherin's location.
Any reason why you didn't move to attempt to stop the vehicle when Officer Butcher did?
Yes, we oftentimes in our line of work have people meaning no ill will, just disregard police barricades and other things. So initially I didn't know if the vehicle was being driven by somebody that was just simply distracted or lost or senile. I had no idea.
So it would be fair to say that at the time you had no idea what was going on with the vehicle and why it was there.
At the time, what I knew was that someone had radioed that a car had disregarded our barricades to keep the parade route closed off.
And you heard this on the radio, correct?
On police radio, yes.
So did you hear a car or did you hear an SUV?
Exact words that were used, it was a vehicle.
Would it be fair to say that you just said you heard a car over the radio?
I don't recall the exact words.
Would it be fair to say that it is extremely hard to compare a car with an SUV?
Objection, argumentative.
Grounds.
Sustained. Next question.
Would you ever mistake a car in an SUV?
Objection, argumentative.
Overruled. She may answer.
I think I'm pretty good at knowing the difference.
So when you heard the radio call, were you expecting a car or an SUV?
I was expecting a vehicle, red in color, to be coming my direction.
Would it be fair to say that you, before didn't state the color of the vehicle that you were expecting?
I think the question's vague, Your Honor, as
Objection.
to
Grounds.
when she may or may
Grounds.
not.
Mr. Brooks, hold on. Let her state the objection.
Question's vague as to when she may or may not have indicated the color of the car, Your Honor.
Grounds.
I'll sustain the objection. Please rephrase. It's sustained as to the form of the question.
At any time during the radio report, was there any report of the color of the vehicle, as you say, in the report that you heard over the radio?
The exact color of the vehicle over the radio, I do not recall hearing. I know that I saw a red SUV coming from White Rock.
Would it be fair to say that you heard the radio call before you saw the vehicle?
Absolutely, I heard it before I saw it.
So would it be fair to say that you couldn't have known what the color of the vehicle would be and what vehicle was being referred to?
There was only one vehicle on the parade route, from what I saw.
Were there any radio reports that the vehicle had struck anyone at that time that you heard?
No, I didn't hear anyone say that the vehicle had struck anyone.
Was there any reports at that time over the radio that you heard of a description of who may have been driving the vehicle?
No, I don't recall a description coming out over the radio prior to me seeing the vehicle come across my path.
So would it be fair to say that the radio report was pretty vague?
Objection, argumentative.
Grounds.
Sustained.
Were there any reports that you know of, rather by radio or from people who were present in your area that you were, that they may have heard honking from the vehicle that approached?
Objection, speculation.
Grounds.
Overruled. The way it was phrased, he asked if she had any information. So she may answer.
I don't have any information about honking.
Can you recall about what time you saw the approaching vehicle?
I don't know the exact time, no.
Were you injured in any way by the vehicle?
I was not injured.
So it would be fair to say that you haven't filed a claim in this matter, correct?
Objection, irrelevant.
Grounds.
Overruled. She may answer.
I have not filed a claim for this.
It would be also fair to state that you are not any party in this matter, correct?
Objection, asked and answered.
Grounds.
Sustained.
Could you state for the record who subpoenaed you to testify in this matter today?
The state?
And when you say the state, who are you referring to exactly?
The state of Wisconsin?
To
Here
the
we
best of your
go.
knowledge, being in law enforcement for some time, have you ever had any interaction with the state whatsoever?
Objection,
Grounds.
irrelevant, vague.
Grounds.
Sustained. Next question.
Did you physically talk to the state about testifying here this morning?
Objection,
Grounds.
vague and irrelevant.
Grounds.
Do you mean to ask her if she spoke with the DA's office?
Did she speak to the plaintiff?
Sustained. Next question.
How long have you known the plaintiff in this matter?
Objection, irrelevant.
Grounds.
Sustained. Next question.
Have you read the complaint in this matter?
I have, I believe I've skimmed it over. I haven't read it in its entirety.
Would it be any reason why you didn't read the complaint in its entirety?
Objection, irrelevant.
Grounds.
Sustained.
Did you have any idea that you may be called to testify in this matter?
I did see it as a possibility, yes.
So would it be fair to say that if you knew that it was a possibility that you may be called to testify, would it be fair to say that it would be best to acquire all the knowledge that you can acquire before testifying?
Objection, argumentative.
Grounds.
Sustained.
Are you aware that all police departments are funded by the state of Wisconsin?
Objection, irrelevant.
Grounds.
Sustained.
If you weren't testifying here this morning, would you be on duty?
Yes, I would be.
Is that why you came in uniform?
Yes, it is.
So it would be fair to say that right now you're on the clock.
Yes, I am.
Being paid by whom?
By the city of Waukesha.
Is the city of Waukesha in the state of Wisconsin?
Yes, it is.
Who funds the Waukesha Police Department?
Objection, irrelevant.
Grounds.
Sustained.
During your attempt to stop the vehicle, do you recall the vehicle trying to strike anyone?
I did not see the vehicle deviating in any way, no.
Do you recall it trying to strike anyone?
I think it hasn't answered, Your Honor.
Sustained.
By you saying that you didn't see the vehicle deviate, Can you clarify for the record what that means, in your opinion?
When I saw the vehicle coming towards my direction, it was driving in a straight line.
So, would it be fair to say that that does not clarify what you mean by deviate?
Objection.
It's argumentative, sustained.
To the best, as far as you recall, you didn't see or hear that the vehicle has struck anyone. That be fair to say?
That's been asked and answered, Your Honor.
Grounds.
Sustained.
Do you know if any cross streets before you attempted to stop the vehicle that may have been barricaded?
We had barricades up in the area of White Rock Avenue. I wasn't up there at any point in time, so I couldn't give you the exact location of every barricade.
But you do know that there were pretty much barricades throughout the parade route. Would that be fair to say?
Yes, we need to secure it.
Do you know if any came to the area?
Well, I personally observed Officer Bryn attempt to stop the vehicle.
Do you know if any attempt to stop the vehicle before the vehicle approached your area?
Based on the radio traffic I heard, it sounded like officers had attempted at that time, but I didn't see it, so I couldn't say for certain.
So it would be fair to say that you don't recall?
Objection. That's
Grounds.
fair to say, Your Honor. It's a
Grounds.
misstatement of her testimony.
Grounds.
Sustained. It mischaracterizes the testimony.
So to the best of your knowledge, Officer Butchering was the first person that you observed attempting to stop the vehicle,
That's correct.
and then yourself,
That is correct.
with no injuries.
Can you clarify, please?
You, Officer Butchering, or you were not injured in your attempt to stop the vehicle.
I believe that's correct.
You believe that was correct?
I don't recall Butchrin complaining of any injuries, so I couldn't say for certain.
Were you yourself injured?
I've already answered that.
You stated that you skimmed through the complaint for this matter. Would that be fair to say?
Objection. Asked and answered. We move on to a new topic, Your Honor.
Grounds.
Sustained. It's been asked and answered. Need a new topic, Mr. Brooks, under 9611. I'm directing you to move on.
I'm just trying to find out what would be the reason not to read the whole complaint. That's all.
Completely irrelevant, Your Honor.
So, grounds.
There's no question.
Did you hear of any
He don't
incident
have
at
no
Frank Park?
questions. Make
Objection.
him-
Asked and answered.
he-
I didn't ask these
he-
questions.
Overruled. She may answer.
I did answer that earlier in my testimony.
You may answer it again.
Okay.
Please.
I heard that there was a man-knife call, is how it came out, potentially in Frame Park.
At any point that evening, did you follow up on that report?
I did not.
Do you, to the best of your knowledge, do you know if, are you aware of any officer following up on that report?
The officers that were dispatched to that call, of which I don't recall who they were, would have been in charge of that.
Did you learn any information about a knife being found?
I did not.
To the best of your knowledge, do you recall any domestic dispute coming over the radio?
What point in time?
The evening during the parade, November 21st.
I don't recall specifically the terms domestic being used over the radio in any way, no.
To the best of your knowledge, do you recall a vehicle being found on Maple Street?
Yes, I do recall.
Did you respond there directly, or do you know if, well, let me take that back. Did you respond there directly?
No, I did not.
Do you recall what that report was saying over the radio?
Objection. Vague.
Grounds.
Sustained as to the form of the question. It's also beyond the scope of the direct exam. Unless you have information she was involved in that. Mr. Brooks, move on.
And what would you estimate the speed was of the vehicle you attempted to stop?
Objection. Asked and answered.
Sustained.
I don't recall asking the speed.
This witness has answered about speed multiple times, but if you want to debate it again, overruled. You may answer.
I said approximately 30 to 40 miles.
To the best of your knowledge, would there be any reason why an officer standing right next to you would not estimate at that speed?
Objection. Argumentative.
Grounds.
It's argumentative and it calls for speculation on the part of this witness, so it's sustained.
Do you know of any officer that was in your vicinity that gave a speed estimate of the vehicle you attempted to stop?
Objection. Irrelevant.
Grounds.
Sustained.
No more further questions.
All right, thank you. Any redirect?
Very briefly, Officer Schneider, on cross-examination, you told Mr. Brooks that you saw the driver of the vehicle quite clearly. Do you remember that?
Objection. I do not consent to being called that name, and I would respectfully ask not to be identified with an unknown individual.
Your objection is...
Do you see the driver of the red SUV in the courtroom here today, Officer Schneider?
Objection. Hearsay.
Overruled. She may answer.
I'd ask Mr. Brooks be directed to remove his mask so that Officer Schneider can identify him, please.
Objection. I never heard an answer to the question.
It has not been answered. Mr. Brooks, please remove your mask. Thank you.
Officer Schneider, is the driver of the red SUV that you've just described for this jury present in this courtroom today?
Objection.
Yes.
Hearsay.
Can you please point him out by where he's seated and what he's wearing?
He's seated over here at the table wearing a gray suit.
That's the man you saw driving the red SUV as it sped past you?
Yes, it is.
Thank you. I don't have any other questions.
On the issue of identification only, do you have any questions for this witness?
Yes, I do. You did
See,
state
I don't understand what's funny.
that you saw the driver of the vehicle the driver had hair, and you stated brown eyes and brown hair, correct?
That's what I said.
You also stated that you can see somewhat what they was wearing by a hat, or
That's incorrect. I did not say that.
so you were able to see the driver of the vehicle's entire head.
I was able to see hair, which is what I've said previously.
Would it be fair to say that the alleged defendant that you just identified on the record for the court does not have hair?
You have shaved your head. Yes.
Would it be fair to say that you have not seen the alleged defendant shave his head?
Objection. Relevance.
Grounds.
Overruled. She may answer. Presuming in the act of.
The act of.
I have not witnessed him actively shaving his head.
So would it be fair to say that, to the best of your knowledge, you do not know, in fact, if the alleged defendant shaved his head?
I am looking at the individual who was driving the SUV, and he now has a shaved head.
That doesn't answer the question.
It does. Next question.
And you stated eye color, correct?
Yes,
Can you see the alleged defendant's eye color from where you are sitting?
I cannot.
No further questions.
All right, thank you. You may step down.
He the dumbest one in the room, and
Schmidt.
he wants to be the smartest one in the room.
We'll take our lunch now. It'll be at least an hour, maybe an hour and 15 minutes. Parties be back in an hour, and then I'll advise the jury. And I can compete what time I need them back. All right, thank you, everyone. I'll rise for the jury. Do you have any extras? I know we've given you a bunch, or do you need new forms?
I really only brought the ones that I was required to turn in
That's
today.
okay. What we'll do is we'll make sure on the next available break, I'll have my clerk count off how many there are. We'll get them reprinted. I think they keep forms in the clerk's office, and then put the date on, and then you can fill them out again, and then we'll hand them back over to the state. Do you intend these subpoenas to be the equivalent of your witness list, or were you going to file something separately?
I was intending for this to be my witness list. I think that would probably be easier.
Any objection from the state?
No, we understand. I think we've been given fair notice, Your Honor.
Okay.
We have some other challenges on some of these subpoenas, not, again, that we need to necessarily address right now, but I would like to advise the court and the defendant that he's requested a subpoena for a person identified as Sammy Fleischman. We have learned that Ms. Fleischman has relocated to the state of Texas. Therefore, we will not be able to secure her appearance here at the trial on behalf of Mr. Brooks. If he wishes to make arrangements for transportation for Ms. Fleischman, he may do so himself. Ms. Fleischman, it is my understanding, was the woman who organized the parade, or was one of the people that organized the parade, but that's how she's identified in the reports, and therefore her relevance may or may not be an issue as well.
All right, did you hear the state advisor of that?
Yeah, I wouldn't even begin to try to know how I can do something like that from a jail cell. I'm pretty much
Well, that's
broke.
your business.
Well, you're advised, though, if she's out of state, there's other procedures would have to be followed, and the state is not obligated to make those arrangements since it's an out-of-state witness at this point, okay? Did you hear me say that?
I follow.
All right, thank you. Anyone else in the subpoena list?
I mean, there's others that we have objections to, but I don't know if you want to address that right now, Your Honor.
Well, I'd like to have you put them on the record so that Mr. Brooks knows. If he wants to respond now, that's fine. Otherwise, we can take it up a little bit later.
The other, Erica Patterson and Detective Steve Cian, as they have already testified, and
Yes, Steph, JK. I hope there's some way you can share that with us. We're not going to be here too long anyway, but please tell your son to have fun and be safe at the same time. So hopefully we get to see some of those pictures. And I do understand. Thank you. We're not going to be here too much longer. Okay, someone, I just want to hear
or
this part
subject
of
to
it.
cross-examination, we would request an offer of proof as to what relevant testimony, if any, they may offer. And then there was one of the parents of the victims, Kathleen Darrell. She was not present at the parade, and it's really unknown what type of testimony he would want to elicit from her. So we would be requesting an offer of proof to establish the relevancy of those witnesses, Your Honor.
Do you want to address that now or have an opportunity to think about that and address it perhaps at the end of the day?
It's really nothing to think about. I think it's pretty clear. They are, besides Ms. Patterson and Detective Booth, I mean, as far as with them, I think it would be relevant because we have paperwork that was filed by the district attorney about there being no factual basis nor no domestic violence incident on November 20th, which they testified to. I think that that's perjury. So that should be.
Well, you're giving me an argument, I guess, on the relevance of their tesmoony, sir, but as I recall the testimony, you were the one asking the questions about the 20th. The state dismissed that charge. I granted that request to dismiss it. There's nothing that you are bringing to my attention that I can tell would be perjury, but I don't know about their credibility because that charge? Like, explain to me a little bit further.
It would be a lot to do with credibility, and also a few questions that I believe would still be relevant to even the events of the 21st. There's still some relevant things that I feel should be answered, that I feel that the jury deserves to know.
Well, I'm going to give him some
Yeah,
leeway.
yeah, they do
He's a pro
deserve
se
to know, but
defendant. He has a right to call
Also,
witnesses. These
your
are two witnesses
ex-girlfriend on the
that
20th
testified. He
and
did have the opportunity
yeah.
to cross-examine them, but I think it's reasonable for him to want to question them further. And I'll keep them on your witness list and instruct the state to assist as they have already offered. What about this Kathleen Urell? I know she's on their potential witness list that was filed.
I apologize for interrupting, but I did misspeak. She was at the parade, but she did not see, she cannot testify to anyone being struck or injured by the SUV other than her own children that she learned after the fact. And she cannot identify the driver.
All right, Mr. Brooks?
There's still relevancy there. She was at the parade, and as we just heard right now for the record, that she would be directly affected by it, by her family being victims in the matter. Also, she gave statements and she filed a report. I feel like her testimony would be relevant to the matter.
All right, I'll keep her on the list as well. Anyone else on the list of subpoenas?
No, Your Honor, we'll just wait to receive the corrected subpoenas and then we will endeavor to have them served.
All right, thank you.
Just one thing real quick, Your Honor. And if I'm misspeaking right here, feel free to correct me. You said something to the effect about getting more paperwork in during the lunch hour. What was that referring to? Was that referring to the
I was referring to a witness list. If you had one, but what you're indicating is you'd like the grouping of subpoenas and the witnesses who are identified to be reflective of your witness list without filing an independent witness list.
Well, I missed this subpoena. It's only one, but I would have to change it because it was filled out in the same way as the other ones. My mistake for missing it. I got a lot of paper.
What's the name on it?
Catrice, the Bryce. I don't know if it's spelled.
All right.
I don't want to butcher it.
That's okay. Hand it to the bailiff, and then I'll take a look at it.
It's filled out in the correct. The incorrect, just like the other one. So I would have to essentially change it. But I just wanted that for the record that was lurking in my paperwork.
That's okay. Thank you for providing that. The last name is BABIASZ.
Yes, we're familiar with that, but thank you, Your Honor.
All right, we'll add that to the list. State still have the originals that I handed over to you?
I do.
All right, why don't we give all of those back to Mr. Brooks so that he has those, including the one in my hand. We'll make sure he gets new forms. And then if you could just make sure you provide those at the end of the day today, or by the end of the day.
But I don't know if I'll be able to fill all those out when I break.
If need be, I'll let you sit here at the end of the day until you get them filled out, so to make sure the state gets them right away. Okay?
I can try to knock out as many as I can during the breaks to make it easier.
We'll give you time.
I'm not sure that,
We'll give you time. Don't worry about it. All right, anything else from the state?
No, thank you.
Mr. Brooks, anything else from you?
Yes.
Subject
At this
matter
point, I'm probably beating the dead horse, but I just have to stay for the record anyway. I would like to direct Your Honor to, I believe it's Milo versus United States, 505 F2B 1026. Are you familiar with that, Your Honor?
Not off the top of my head, but I can pull it up.
And also Higgins versus Levine, 415 US 533. And those cases are being brought up because of the continuing asking of me about the jurisdiction that I've been challenging. I believe they're very, very relevant to this matter.
Anything specific you want to draw my attention to?
Well, there's cases that challenge the jurisdiction, which I've been doing, challenging the jurisdiction. Milo versus United States states once you
I'm tired of Mr. Brooks for today. Him and his subject matter jurisdiction, the jurisdiction was already they already proved, Mr. Brooks, you proved subject matter jurisdiction when you decided to go to this parade and unalive and hurt some people that were, some of these victims that were at the parade. So you already decided subject matter jurisdiction. So we're tired of hearing about it, and I don't want to hear about it any longer. And I know we've been here for a while, a couple of hours, and I don't want to keep you that long. I do appreciate you all for stopping by and showing me some love. Much love to I Am Not Cat Williams for redirecting you guys over here. I know there's a lot going on this afternoon, so probably will see you guys out there on these YouTube streets. I know she gave some other channels during her live today that's going to be hosting some other things today. So I do have a live schedule for tomorrow with a best friend of mine. He is a celebrity fashion designer. I'm not sure if we're still going to go along, going to be doing that sit down with, if I'm going to still be doing that sit down with him. I am going to reach out to him and see if that's what we're going to do. But I would like to finish this day of the Brooks trial tomorrow. So if anything, I'll just schedule it and share it on my community wall. And I appreciate you guys for coming here. And I'm going to end the show the way I always end my show. And it would be to make sure you get your mammograms, fill on your boobies to make sure that you are all right, all right. And don't you dare let anyone dare come into your home, excuse me, and disturb the peace that passes all understanding. I am Survivor Speaks. And I will see you in the next video. And be kind to someone, to everyone that you encounter. You never know what they may be going through. So I appreciate you all for being here. And I hope you guys would like the video on the way out. And show a little love so I can get out there in the algorithm. And I am going to be doing a lot of rewinds because a lot of people, I think there's a lot of trials. Some people have seen them, and there's a lot of trials out there that people have not seen, and I think that they're very interesting. So I will be doing more trial reruns, and you guys will either, if you decide to subscribe, which would be great, or become a member. We do have memberships on this channel. They are $2.99, $5.99, whatever. It's totally up to you, or you can just subscribe for free. I do appreciate it. So like I said, make sure you get those mammograms. And men, I have I almost left without being sure that I make sure that I let the men here know that you can also get breast cancer as well. We do understand the word breast is kind of, men don't really want to hear that, right? So if you want to call them pecs, chest cancer, pec, whichever word you want to use, if you're feeling anything that does not feel right in that area, please go to your doctor and just advise them, I'm not feeling, there's something going on here. I am aware that men get breast cancer as well. Please do your due diligence and check me out completely. I personally know a male breast cancer survivor 2 times. He survived 2 times. So that is what I really want to relay to the people, to please take your health seriously. And then I also like to say to people, check on your friends. Mental health is so important to me and a lot of other people that I have met on these YouTube streets, or a lot of people that are personal in my own life. Mental health is so important. So when you don't hear from a loved one, just check on them and send them a text or something. Ask them, are they okay? They can be going through, and you may not know. My mods were not here today, but they were definitely reaching out to me. What's going on with you? You were supposed to be doing a live this day and this day, and you keep changing it and you keep going. I'm a breast cancer survivor, 17 plus years, and I go through a lot of other things that and I do suffer from what I call survivor's remorse. So last week was not a good week for me, but as I stated, being in the cat chat definitely, you know, helped me get through work, paying attention to, while paying attention to the YSL trial, which is really heating up. And for anybody that's interested in the YSL trial, full coverage of the YSL trial, please go over to Cat Not Williams. Cat Not Williams, hi. You're going to be on the replay crew. Thank you. Cat Not Williams is here. And you guys know that I am all smiles right about now. Cat, I did share with them that I was going to give up doing YouTube, but you definitely inspired me to keep it going. And so I want to thank you for that. I told them that we're slime and clat, everything over here on this side as well. So thank you for the great channel that you have, and the way you brought such a diverse group of people together. And it's always so fun over there. I gotta learn how to do the personal emoji chats. So that's something that I'm working on for this one. And so here is my mod. She's been going do something, so, but she's here. Melanie Jones says so. We don't give around here. Yeah, Mel is not. I just told them, Mel, that my mods is like, what's going on? Where you at? What you doing? And so I do understand that mods do have a life of their own, and they also go through things as well. Cat Slack is saying, what's up, Mel? That's slime right there. Cat Slack said, what's going on, Mel? So mods, they do such a great job, for your channels, basically holding, everything together. But then sometimes, they have their times where they have things going on, and I definitely do understand. So we have aggravating Nightbot. Nightbot does the mods jobs when you're not here, but sometimes, and he was good today. I gotta give it up for Nightbot, because he really did his thing. He wasn't harassing the people too bad. And so no, I totally understand. Mel already know what's going on. Yeah, I am, and I'm going to reach out to you, because I'm about to get off here, God. Tomorrow we're going to come back. I don't know if I think Blue Eyes. Steph walked off because her son is going to her son has a dance tonight, homecoming dance tonight. So hopefully she'll have some pictures of that. But Melanie Jones says, so she is here. And my Jella, I'm not sure where she is, but she was in the background too. What's going on with you? What's up? And so you need those type of people around, just to sometimes, reach out to you and be like, what's going on with you? And I appreciate and love them so very much. And like I said, I was getting ready to walk away from this and say, you know what, I'm not doing this anymore. But then I came across Kat, and now she has been so inspiring, just from the positivity and everything. Okay, so I don't know what Mel, what is that? Oh, okay. So guys, I'm going to I will, if I'm going to go live, and so we can finish this third day tomorrow. Like I said, you can go and subscribe to oh my goodness, Mushmouth Joe. I love the way he broke down this Darryl Brooks trial, and he is allowing it to be used. He definitely did shorten it. and this is day 3, and he's shorting 8 hours down to 4, but we're not going to stay here for 4 hours. So thank you all for coming. I hope to see you in the next live. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm a survivor. If you asked how I'm still standing, I can only give you one reply, and that is God don't play about me and mine. I'm a survivor. God is not through with me yet. I'm a survivor. God gets all the glory. I'm just asking what's next. I'm a survivor. What else would you think? I'm a survivor, and beyond the chemo room, my black is pink. I'm a survivor. They are gonna feel us on this G.O.D. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. What else would you think? I'm a survivor, and beyond the chemo room, my black is pink. I'm a survivor. They are gonna feel us on this G.O.D. I'm a survivor.